In May 1940, Germany gave the Netherlands 5 days to survive. The Dutch Aviation Brigade had no radar, no modern bomber force, and fewer than 200 operational aircraft, facing the largest air armada the world had ever seen. Yet they shot down 350 Luftwaffe aircraft and earned a national honor awarded to no air force before or since. 22 aircraft, one small nation's extraordinary war.
Fighters. Let's begin with fighters. Fokker D-21, the Dutch fighter that refused to quit. 36 D-22s in Luchtvaartafdeling service on May 10, 1940. Single Bristol Mercury 8, producing 830 horsepower. 4 7.9mm FN Browning machine guns. Top speed, 286 miles per hour. Slower than the Bf-109, yet credited with 16 confirmed kills during the 5-day campaign. 8 remained airworthy when the Netherlands surrendered. Impossible odds against a superpower. Fokker G.I Reaper, the twin-engine destroyer nicknamed Le Faucheur. 23 GIs operational at invasion. Twin Bristol Mercury 8 engines producing 830 horsepower each. 8 7.9mm FN Brownings in the nose, plus 1 flexibly mounted rear gun. Top speed, 295 miles per hour. Scored 14 confirmed aerial kills in 5 days. So feared the Luftwaffe initially misidentified it as a new category of warplane entirely. Fokker D-23, the prototype that pointed to what might have been. A single aircraft completed in 1939. Twin Walter Sagitta 1MR engines mounted in push-pull tandem configuration. One in the nose, one in the tail. Estimated top speed, 330 miles per hour. Twin boom tail, single seat. Too late for series production before the German invasion. Captured intact at Walhaven Airfield, evaluated by the Luftwaffe, then scrapped. Brewster B-339, Buffalo. The Pacific fighter that stood between Java and annihilation. 72 B-339Ds delivered to ml-knil by December 1941. Single right Cyclone R-1820, producing 1,100 horsepower. 4.50 caliber Browning machine guns. Top speed, 321 miles per hour. Outclassed by the Mitsubishi Zero in every category. 4 Dutch squadrons flew the Buffalo against overwhelming Japanese forces. Most aircraft lost in combat before Java fell in March 1942. Curtiss H-75, a Hawk, the American fighter that arrived just in time for disaster. 24 H-75A7S delivered to ml-knil in 1941. Single Pratt & Whitney R-1830 Twin Wasp, producing 1,200 horsepower, 4.30 caliber and 2.50 caliber machine guns. Top speed, 311 miles per hour, equipping 1 VLG-3 fighter group. Outnumbered and outperformed by Japanese aircraft from day one, the Hawks were expended fighting delaying actions across the Netherlands East Indies. Curtiss CW-21B Demon, the lightweight interceptor with a fatal flaw. 24 CW-21Bs assembled at Bandung, Java, February 1941. Single right Cyclone R-1820, producing 1,000 horsepower. 4 machine guns. Top speed, 314 miles per hour. Faster climbing than the Nakajima Ki-43 and structurally similar to Japanese fighters. But its lightweight construction caused undercarriage cracks, grounding several aircraft before combat began. Most CW-21Bs were destroyed on the ground or in hopeless aerial engagements. Hawker Hurricane, the British fighter flown by Dutch exiles, number 322, Dutch Squadron, initially equipped with Hurricanes from 1943. Single Rolls-Royce Merlin XX, producing 1,280 horsepower. 12.303 Browning machine guns. Top speed, 340 miles per hour. Dutch pilots had escaped the fallen Netherlands, crossed occupied Europe, and reached Britain with one purpose: to continue fighting. The Hurricane gave them that weapon while awaiting the Spitfire. Supermarine Spitfire, Britain's finest in Dutch hands, number 322, Dutch Squadron, converted to Spitfires from 1943.
single Rolls-Royce Merlin, producing 1,565 horsepower, two 20mm Hispano cannons plus 4.303 Brownings. Top speed, 408 miles per hour. Flew anti-V1 flying bomb interception over southern England and offensive operations over occupied Europe. Pilots who had fled their homeland now flew some of the most advanced fighters in existence. Curtiss P-40 Kitty Hawk, the shark-toothed fighter that took the Pacific fight to Japan. Number 120 NEI Squadron, equipped with Kitty Hawks from 1943 in Australia. Single Allison V-1710, producing 1,325 horsepower. 6.50 caliber Browning machine guns. Top speed, 362 miles per hour. Dutch crews alongside Australians flew combat operations over New Guinea and the Bismarck Sea, striking Japanese positions across the former Dutch East Indies they had lost to the enemy. Bombers and attack. Moving on to bombers and attack aircraft. Fokker T-5, the aerial cruiser that fought above Rotterdam. 15 T-5s delivered from 1938 to the Luftwaffe, twin Bristol Pegasus 26 engines, producing 925 horsepower each. 4.303 machine guns plus 2,200-pound bomb load. Top speed, 259 miles per hour. On May 10, 1940, 8 TVs encountered German bombers over Schiphol, shooting 2 down. Within 4 days, all 15 were destroyed, attacking bridges at Rotterdam and Moerdijk.
Fokker T-9, the bomber that never reached its war. 9, ordered by ml-knil as a modern replacement program. Twin Wright Cyclone engines, producing 1,200 horsepower each. Designed 3,300-pound bomb load with defensive armament. 3 aircraft were under final assembly at the Fokker plant when Germany invaded on May 10th. Production ceased immediately. 2 airframes captured by the Luftwaffe were evaluated before being scrapped, representing the Dutch air expansion program that died with occupation. Fokker C-5-D, the reconnaissance biplane fighting its second war. 28 C-5-Ds, operational with the Luftwaffe in May 1940. Single Bristol Jupiter, producing 451 horsepower. 2 7.9mm machine guns plus small bomb load. Top speed 145 miles per hour. A 1920s design now facing Messerschmitts, still flew tactical reconnaissance and light bombing missions during the 5-day campaign. Norway license-built 40 examples and used them in similar roles against the same enemy. Northrop 8A3N, the attacker used as a fighter by necessity. 18 8A3Ns delivered to the Luftwaffe. Single Wright Cyclone R-1820, producing 870 horsepower. 4 machine guns plus 1,320-pound bomb load. Top speed 280 miles per hour. No bombs were available on May 10, 1940. Dutch commanders ordered all 18 into combat as impromptu fighters instead. 8 were shot down and 3 destroyed on the ground in the first hours of the invasion. Martin 139W, the American bomber defending the Pacific colony. Over 80 Martin 139Ws delivered to ml-knil from 1936 onward. Twin Wright Cyclone R-1820 engines, producing 950 horsepower each. 5.30 caliber machine guns plus 2,200-pound bomb load. Top speed 260 miles per hour. Formed the backbone of Dutch colonial air power. Flew bombing missions against Japanese invasion fleets in December 1941 and January 1942, before losses made further operations impossible. North American B-25 Mitchell, the medium bomber that kept the Dutch fighting in the Pacific. Number 18, NEI Squadron, equipped with B-25s from April 1942 in Australia. Twin Wright R-2600 double cyclone engines, producing 1,700 horsepower each, up to 18.50 caliber machine guns. Top speed 284 miles per hour. Flew the entire New Guinea campaign alongside RAAF crews. Dutch Mitchell crews bombed Japanese targets from New Guinea to Borneo throughout 1943 and 1944. Maritime Patrol. Now let's look at Maritime Patrol. Fokker T-8W,
the torpedo floatplane built for Dutch waters. 36 T-8Ws ordered for naval aviation service. Twin Bristol Perseus 12 engines producing 450 horsepower each. 2 machine guns plus 1 torpedo or 1,320-pound bomb load. Top speed 177 miles per hour. 5 aircraft escaped to Britain in May 1940 as Dutch resistance collapsed. These survivors were handed to the RAF, flying maritime patrol from British bases until replaced by more modern types. Lockheed Hudson. The maritime patrol aircraft bridging 2 theaters, approximately 18 Hudsons operated by the MLD from 1940. Twin Wright Cyclone R-1820 engines, producing 1,100 horsepower each. 7 machine guns plus 1,400-pound bomb load. Top speed 253 miles per hour. Flew maritime reconnaissance over the North Sea from British bases after the Dutch exile. Later transferred operations to the Pacific, number 321 Squadron, using Hudsons before rearming with Sunderlands and Catalinas. Consolidated PBY Catalina, the ocean hunter that stalked German submarines. MLD operated PBY Catalinas with number 321 Squadron from 1942. Twin Pratt & Whitney R-1830 Twin Wasp engines, producing 1,200 horsepower each. 3 machine guns plus 4,000-pound bomb or depth charge load. Top speed 196 miles per hour. Dutch Catalinas hunted U-boats across the Atlantic from British and Caribbean bases. The PBY Carol Dorman alone destroyed 3 confirmed German submarines during its wartime service. Dornier Do-24K, the German-designed flying boat the Dutch used against Germany. 6 Do-24Ks built under license in the Netherlands for the MLD. 3 BMW Bramo Fafnir, 323 radial engines producing 1,000 horsepower each. 3 machine guns plus 1,100-pound bomb load. Maximum range 2,950 miles. 4 aircraft escaped to Britain in May 1940. An extraordinary irony. A Dornier aircraft purchased from Germany, now flying maritime patrol missions against Germany's own forces. Short Sunderland, the flying fortress that hunted submarines from Ceylon to the Atlantic. Number 321 Squadron MLD operated Sunderlands from 1942. 4 Bristol Pegasus 18 engines, producing 1,010 horsepower each. Up to 18.303 machine guns. Top speed 213 miles per hour. Dutch Sunderlands patrolled the Indian Ocean from Ceylon, the Bay of Bengal, and Atlantic approaches. Reformed after the fall of the East Indies, number 321 kept the Dutch naval air tradition alive through war's end. Martin PBM. Mariner. The heavy patrol bomber that extended Dutch reach into the Pacific. MLD received PBM Mariners from late 1943, replacing earlier patrol types. Twin Wright R-2600 Cyclone, 14 engines producing 1,900 horsepower each. 8.50 caliber machine guns. Top speed 211 miles per hour. Payload up to 8,000 pounds of bombs or depth charges. The Mariner gave Dutch naval aviation a long-range capability far exceeding anything in their pre-war inventory. Trainers and support. Finally, trainers and support. Koolhoven FK-56, the indigenous trainer that preserved Dutch aviation identity. Approximately 30 FK.56s produced by Koolhoven for the Luftwaffeafdeling from 1938. Single Gnome-Rhone 14M radial engine producing 670 horsepower. Unarmed trainer configuration. Top speed 273 miles per hour. One of the fastest advanced trainers in Europe at introduction. Several FK-56s escaped to Britain with Dutch pilots in May 1940, where they continued training Dutch exile aircrew before being replaced by British types. From the Fokker D-21 biplane fighters that held Rotterdam's skies for 5 impossible days to the Mitchell bombers still striking Japanese targets in 1944, these 22 aircraft tell the story of a small nation that refused to accept defeat. The Dutch Aviation Brigade earned the Militaire Willemsorde, the highest collective military honor in Netherlands history, awarded to the entire brigade after 5 days of combat. The ml-knil fought a separate war across 10,000 miles of ocean from a colony that no longer existed. And the exile squadrons in Britain and Australia kept fighting for 4 years after their homeland fell. No other occupied nation contributed as many distinct air formations to the Allied cause. 22 aircraft, a nation conquered in 5 days and still fighting 5 years later.